All right, let's get into the recap today. Today is a spicy one. Let's just say that. Um, yeah, let's get right into it. So, today, right, going into the day, we had 8:30 news unemployment claims. So, want to see how that reacted, and there was nothing right here, right? So, no data highs, no whatevers. So first let's just start off on the higher time frame, right? The highs that I wanted swept right here were already swept, and going into open, we were displacing above it. So I wanted to see this high and maybe possibly this high, and then maybe possibly this high, which would be all-time highs. Not looking forward to price action at all-time highs, but that's my target right now. So yeah, one of these hit. So just looking at the overnight session right away, right? Um, we pumped a lot. As you can see, Asia has a huge Asia range. Asia never does that. So when you see this, automatically expect lower probability conditions. London kept expanding, no manipulation. So just kind of saw this as a continuation day, at least until this high and probably until this high. We could possibly reverse from here or keep going up to all-time highs. And who the fuck knows where we're going at that point. So that's that, right? So market opened. Let me turn this shit off, right? Market opened right here today. Obviously, if my draw's higher, I want to see manipulation from 9:30 to 10 to the downside, see about liquidity, and go into some higher time frame PD ray. Um, so let me replay everything real quick. So market open is right here. We're really close to these highs. So uh, right here, we had a like 15-minute fair value gap, right? And so playing price, we came down into it. We swept these lows. Um, really wasn't too confident until we had we created an SMT with this low right here. So this could be, since we're so bullish, this could be the move that takes us up to there. Just because it's not like as high time frame and it's not as big as a move that I wanted to, I would not take the first for value gap. I would want to see a normal market structure shift and then pull back. So want to see some sort of displacement above a high. Um, technically you did get that here, but like I I didn't like it. I don't know. It also wasn't in a macro time, and I've learned recently macro times are pretty useful. So really was looking for the 950 to 1010 to enter something. So playing price again, see this would have been your entry right here, breaker block for value gap, and it would have gotten ran through. So good thing I missed out on that. Uh, and then we came out to these equal lows that I wanted swept, and we tapped into this fair value gap right here. Oh, actually, yeah. The biggest reason why I didn't enter here was because ES at this time, ES was coming down here and NQ was extremely bullish. We were just pumping and ES still hesitated to go lower. And when you see that with the overnight expansion that we had, automatically really low conditions to be trading in when you see that. So want to see at least some sort of correlation between them. So, when we go up on NQ, I want to see us go up on ES and was not seeing that. So that's actually the main reason why I didn't enter the trade. I remembered. Um, we had this low inside this fair value gap right here. I did want that swept, but I didn't need it to be swept because I already stopped out these traders and we already tapped into that high time frame imbalance. So I didn't need to see the swept, but this would have been nice. From this leg, actually, there was no internal sweep. So what I wanted to see was a little bit up and then an internal sweep and then a market structure shift and then pull back. But I would be open to something else. So yeah, right here we pumped up right away. And as you can see, ES was going with it too. ES was a little bit stronger because already had that market structure shift. And now we just wanted to pull back here on ES and see how NQ, like see where NQ was at so I can enter something. So I only trade NQ. But yeah, so we came back into this BPR right here, and we started chopping around a little bit. And at this point, we're already in the macro, so I did want to enter a trade soon, but I wanted to see this high get broken through, and we did. We had this 5 minute fair value gap that we inversed too. That's like one of the key things I want to see because if you do look at this, right, we had this order block and we had this order block, set of order block. That's a propulsion block, and we just came into that inside of a 5 minute imbalance. So that could be a spot where we reverse from. But I needed to see that get disrespected right there. Saw disrespectation, displacement above it. Saw that market structure shift, and so right there, since we had this inversion for value gap, I I set my limit right here, and I got entered into a trade right there. Uh, if I can get okay, whatever. That's a fine entry. I got a little bit of a better fill, but so let me just smooth that over so you can see it. And actually, let me just get rid of this completely. Yeah, so entered right there. I had a risk about 300 bucks, and I put my stop loss right at the CE of this wick, right? Because that's the last spot I wanted price to go to. Now that was my number one mistake. If I wanted, if that was the last spot that I wanted price to go to, why would I put my stop there? That makes no sense. Because if that's the last line of defense, why would I put it on top of the last line of defense? Why wouldn't I not put it below it? Because if it hits the last line of defense, it also hit my stop loss, and then it would go up. So that was the first mistake that I made. What I should have done is I should have put my stop down here, but instead I put it right there. Right. Let me just make sure it's lined up perfectly. You'll understand why in a little bit. So yeah, CE of this wick, I can only get right, yeah. CE of that wick, stop loss. Um, so let's see what price does, right? We have this unfilled fair value gap right here that I can still expect to be filled. That's why I put my stop down here. Should have been at the low, but whatever. Playing price, right? Whatever. We're getting some upside movement, and we get this move, right? Okay, a deeper retrace into this 5 minute for value inverse for value gap. Now look exactly where price came to. Price came exactly at the CE of this wick. Actually, this fib is a little off right there. I'm gonna zoom in even more for you guys. Look at that. To the fucking tick right there. Exactly where my stop loss was at. To the fucking tick, stopped me out, ran to my target. Now you can imagine how mad I would be, right? I was pretty livid, I would say. That's a good word. Um, but yeah, I got stopped out right there, and I saw price go in my direction, so I was looking for um some sort of re-entry, right? It's gonna get out of that so I can go back to here, right? So I got stopped out right there, and then price kept going up, like right here. This fair value gap was inverse, and so now I was just expecting us to run to my buy side targets. I want to see how I could get back in. So we had this 1 minute fair value gap that I wanted to see us inverse, and I wanted to see that as a level of support. Um, and we had this fair value gap right here. This would have been a good entry. Even though there's a fair value gap down here, this inversion for value gap should hold as support, and we shouldn't go past the midpoint of this. And the reason because if you look at this, right, we manipulated these lows, we stopped out all the traders here, and typically in a move like this, that's like it's not huge or whatever. There's just like down, up, pull back, up. You'll see this manipulation that stops out traders, and then sometimes you'll see this manipulation that'll stop out traders that I got railed on. Usually there's not there shouldn't be a third big manipulation when we're this high up into the leg. So having your stops below this fair value gap would be perfectly fine. but you just don't want to see us come back down to the bottom of this. Because at that point, your trade idea probably is invalid, or if trade just wants to go all the way down here, then it can and do that. But so far we're seeing good price action, so that would have been a good position. But at that point, I really wasn't in the right headspace, so I didn't take that. Yeah, we came up to the target, and then we kept running higher all the way up there. So really not a bad trade, but it was just poor stop loss management. Um, I know for a fact that it should have been at this low, but I wanted a 1 to 3 R, and in order to squeeze that out, I have to put it at the midpoint of that wick. And it doesn't matter where your R is. If you get stopped right there and price still goes in your direction, you don't make money. So what I have to do is, stick to my rules, make sure I don't break them. Doesn't matter what the RR is. It's just what you're confident in. I'm not confident that it won't go like right here. This is just a random spot I put it. I am mostly confident that it won't come down to this wick because it shouldn't, because we already had a stop ring. So going forward, not doing that again. But overall, that wasn't bad whatsoever. Minus $300, right? Nothing crazy. But the bad part is, I ended up having a little FOMO, and I just entered just cuz, and I entered right here, right? Because I still expected price to go higher, and just like how the market runs, it runs a human emotion. It got this downside right here. The candle started displacing lower. I got scared and I took it out, and I was down on my account, and I took another one, and that is nothing better than gambling, right? That is exactly what gambling is. I just think, okay, maybe price is going to go up now. I hope it does. I'm not using any sort of bias. I'm not using any sort of understanding of the market. I'm just guessing that it's going to go there. So why did that happen? Because I got greedy. I got stopped out to the tick, and I got FOMO, and I broke my rules. And you know, I gotta look back and do some reflecting on why I did that, because there should have been no reason why I did that. Um, and yeah, that's it for just analyzing price basically. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna post something or just record myself and understand and talk out why I did this, because I can't leave that. I can't not pay attention to that, because that's a pretty huge thing. But yeah, I'm done trading today. I'm not gonna try to take more trades in the PM session. I'm not in the right headspace right now, so gonna stay smart and just gonna go back into tomorrow with the same attitude I came in, but just don't do what I did today. So yep. I might post another video later about just like a little psychology talk or something, but for now that's it. And yeah.